What up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of 100 Hours Club. I am your host, Nestor P, and I hope when this is reaching you, you are at the best of health and you are continuing to follow and chase the things that you want to chase for yourself and for the people around you and for your family, for whoever is involved with your life and helping you chase what you want to chase. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, I hope everybody is having a wonderful evening, day, morning, whatever, whenever this comes across your screen. I hope you are doing good and I hope you are okay. That's all I hope for. I hope for the best, hope for the positivity, and that's all I ask for. On this episode, ladies and gentlemen, I've been waiting to talk about this. I haven't really, a lot of times, what I will do is I will kind of talk to myself about things and preparing for a particular episode, preparing for specific things, just kind of preparing. And on this one, I kind of found myself talking and then I just kind of stopped. This past Sunday, me and my wife, we do go to church. I am not one of those person that judges people on religion or anything like that. Me, I've personally been through particular things that I felt the Lord was there with me. And it's hard to say pause to like believe in something that's not that you can't see, you know what I mean? Because ultimately as humans, as people, we have to see it to believe it, to know if it's real, to know if it's this, to know if it's that. So I don't ever judge people for if they don't go to church. If they do go to church, I don't ever judge people for any of that. This past Sunday, the preacher was talking, and ultimately this service was about wanting wanting more than what you have, but not wanting to put the work in, and being in a particular position that you're in, and it's like you're complaining, and it's like ultimately you might not have the job you want, but at the same time it's nobody's fault that you're in that position, you know. Like, you have to be able to accept what you have. You have to be able to accept what's in front of you ultimately, so you can be ready for the next level and for the next step. Because who's to say that you might be ready, you might feel you're ready for this, but you could get into that position and that could be what ultimately gets you fired, and not being in the position you want to be, or not being in a particular place in your life that you want to be, that doesn't mean let me have a bad attitude, let me disrespect this person, let me disrespect that person. Ultimately, it's like structuring your life and structuring your situations that you're in, and really chasing and really saying, okay, where can I perfect this and where can I perfect that? And ultimately, when I was listening to this, I just kind of felt like, not that I was getting slapped in the face, but ultimately it was like a big awakening for myself. Because a lot of times with my job, I've been in there in June I will be there 19 years. And sometimes I feel like I'm way behind from where I want to be. But I really stop and think about what is going on. I really stop and think about the position that I'm actually in. Like, I started at the bottom. I started just as a helper. I started just as a person that, I went and applied and I got hired. And in the midst of that, I met a mentor that showed me what it was to like pay bills, what it was to pay yourself, what it was to take care of responsibility. When I was in San Antonio, when I was younger, I wasn't really trying to take responsibility for what I was doing. And granted, I was young. I was a teenager, just having fun, and just having fun to the point where I just took it to the totally extreme of just having fun. So I always look at stuff like that and I always tell myself like I will get to the position that I want to be at. I will get there. And it's just a matter of my life is I've always put my life in God's hands. And the more I go to church and the more I hear these words, the more I hear them speak, it's it makes sense. It makes sense because I want to like I'm the type of person that I in the position I'm in, I shoot to be perfect. But of course, as a human, it doesn't always happen like that. And that's just how the cookie crumbles. It's not even because of this, not even because of that. And ultimately, moments that you go through in life are just moments. It's not something that is permanent. It's not something that it's supposed to be like that. You know what I mean? Like you have a bad day, but that's just it. It's a bad day. You have a bad week, but that's just it. That's a bad week. It's not a bad life. You know what I mean? It's not a bad life. It's not you ultimately make your life what it is. You ultimately by your attitude and by how you look at things and by how you treat people and how you move, you really you could brighten up the day or you could make the day dark. You know, like getting mad at people at restaurants, getting mad at cashiers. These people are there to do a particular job. And some of them might not want to be there, but one thing that they did do was they showed up. And that takes a lot, especially in a world where nobody wants to show up. And showing up and just being, wanting to be there, wanting to perfect what you're doing, wanting to do the job, that takes a lot, you know? And a lot of times I sit back because I'm a person that, yes, I've been where I'm at for 19 years and I've have side hustles. I try to make more and I always think about it. It's like I never want my attitude to stop me from being able to move forward. I never want my attitude and the way I treat people to hold me back. Like when I'm in my zone and when I'm focused, I don't intentionally I'm not intentionally rude. It's just being in the position I'm in with the responsibility that I have. If I stop and talk to you for 5 seconds, that could distract what I'm trying to get done. And that's where I'm trying to be better at. I'm trying to be better to as far as getting into situations and solving them and then moving on to the next thing or bouncing back to what I need to get to. I'm not a rude person. I'm not a disrespectful person. And I'm not a person that takes anything for granted when it comes to my job, when it comes to my family, when it comes to what I'm doing. I never take it as I deserve this. I take it because I've earned it. I've earned the position that I'm at. And if I want to continue to go forward, I got to continue to earn more. I got to continue to earn the respect. I got to continue to earn the responsibility. I got to continue to be able to have conversations with the big shots into the small shots. You know what I mean? I want to be able to be that Camille that whatever situation I'm in, I want to be able to blend in with my surrounding. And for the most part, I'm good at that because from coming from where I come from and being in the position that I'm at, you would never think that, oh my God, this person is this person is that. And like I said, people are going to judge you. People are going to say what they want to say about you. People are going to always have an opinion. And you know what? It's cool to have an opinion. Cool. But an opinion is an opinion. An opinion is something that comes from specifically somebody. So with me, I always think about, man, maybe I should like even before I got married and even before I had my daughter or we had our daughter, I was like, man, maybe I should be a truck driver. Maybe I should do this. Maybe I should do that. One thing that when you hear millionaires and billionaires and people that have very successful businesses and very successful businesses and stories, they always get asked like, what would you have done better? And it's always like, or what would you have done different? And it's always like, I would have spent more time with my kids. I would have spent more time with my wife. I would have spent more time with the family. And I'm very blessed to be in the position that I'm in because I don't I've been able to earn me making the schedule that I make at my place of employment. I'm able to have days off and spend time with my family. When I get to work, I do what I got to do. I clock in and get started. Because as soon as my time for me to leave comes, I'm out. I have no reason to give any more minutes, any more seconds, and not because it's being rude. It's not because of I'm just being selfish. No, I'm there to do. I get there at a particular time. I leave at a particular time, and when I leave, it's not like I'm just coming home and just chilling. It's daddy duties, and it's clocking into that particular job. But a lot of, like I said, this past Sunday, what it just made me realize that where I want to go and what I'm trying to do, it's not gonna happen right away. It's not gonna happen because I want it to happen right away. Like, I'm trying to build a foundation when it comes to my podcast. I'm trying to build that, and I'm trying to have my wife and trying to explain to her so she could understand what I'm talking about. And my wife is like a visionary. She has to see the picture before she could vision it. And that's where me and her are opposite because I could visualize something. I could see the picture without even seeing the picture. So, but like I said, we're two different people. So what I'm trying to do is paint the picture for her. I'm trying to paint what's in my mind on a canvas that's invisible so she could see it. And like I said, this doesn't happen overnight. You have to be vulnerable. You have to show your weaknesses. You have to, show your fears. You have to do that to make it and to be successful in this type of realm. And like I said, I'm very successful in what I do as far as personal work. And like I said, I have a full-time job. I'm also a full-time dad. And I'm doing what I do, what I'd love to do. And hopefully one day it could be my full-time job. But at the end of the day, when it comes to content, when it comes to all of this, it takes time. When TikTokers were doing what they were doing, it was fun in the beginning. But ultimately, to keep that following and to keep those views coming in, you have to you have to work. You have to think of the creation. You have to think of whatever you want to do and whatever however you want to put it together. But like I said, this past Sunday, it just kind of showed me and it just kind of gave me that light that what I'm doing is not wrong. What I'm doing, I'm still on the right path. It's taken a little bit more longer on this journey to get to my destination. But just because it's taking longer, that doesn't mean the destination is not there. I'm going to get to my destination. But it all has to do with me respecting the people around me. It all has to do with respecting what I have in front of me. If I don't respect my job and if I don't take care of my job, I won't have a job. I can't be upset about being in the position that I'm in and I'm still able to pay my bills. I'm still able to take my daughter to Target and let her get what she wants. I'm still able to get my wife gifts for anniversaries and for Mother's Days. And, I'm still able to do this. I've always said it too. And real quick, I don't want to go too long on this episode, but I've always said it. And this is what I told myself. And like I said, little by little, I I feel like I'm doing good, then I feel like I'm doing bad. But then I hear sermons and I hear the word, what I just heard on Sunday, and it's like, you know what? I'm down the right path. I'm doing what I had to do. I'm being the worker that I am, and I'm also being the father that I need to be, and I'm also being the husband that I need to be. I'm being the partner. But like I said, you could make $100 an hour, but if you are not good with money, you ain't making nothing, because you're gonna be as broke as someone that's making $15 an hour. And I guarantee you, the person that is making $15 an hour is holding on to everything, is saving, and is doing more than what the person that's making $100 is doing. And like I said, I'm trying to get better when it comes to saving. But like I said, when it comes to my job, I had to reconstruct myself, and I had to tell myself, you know what? I love what I do. I want to continue to do what I do, and I gotta respect it. I gotta take care of it. These are my jewels. These are my diamonds that I'm trying to keep shining. You know what I mean? I'm trying to protect it. I want to protect it. But by protecting it is not me being rude. Protecting it is not me pushing people to the side and just, being disrespectful. I have to respect the possession. I have to respect the position that I'm in. So when the next level comes, I could respect that. If I'm getting, if I'm taking shortcuts and getting to particular places, the shortcuts always end up coming back around, you know? So, like I said, like I said, I always question myself. It's like, man, should I be doing more? Should I be doing this? Should I be doing that? But at the end of the day, like I said, I'm able to come home. I'm able to put my daughter to sleep. I'm able to wake up to my daughter. I'm very involved in my daughter's life. I'm very involved in my wife's life. Myself, as much as I want to make more money, as much as I want to have more time to myself, as much as I want more, I am very fortunate to be in the position that I'm in. I am very fortunate that I have Sundays off. I am very fortunate that when I go out of town, I come back home the same day. And if I'm staying out of town, I'm getting paid. Anytime I'm out of town, anytime I'm on the road, I'm getting paid. And, you know, being around people that have egos and people that, are in their own world, I've come to learn that, you know what, it's cool. Whatever people are going through and whatever someone is going through, that's not me to make it tougher for them. It's not my job to make it harder for them. If I could be around somebody and and I've always said this too, if I'm at the cashier and this cashier is having the hardest day, and I have a conversation, and for like, if they could forget about what they're going through for 5 seconds, 10 seconds because of me, that means I'm doing my job. I've gone into gas stations multiple times and I'm like, hello, how you doing? And it's like, oh my God, you're the first person to ask me this. I've been here since the morning. It's already 4 o'clock and I'm barely getting asked this. So if I could brighten up somebody's day, I'm going to do it. If I could brighten up my daughter's day, I'm going to do it. If I could brighten up my wife's day, I'm going to do it. And I'm also going to respect the position that I'm in. I'm going to respect what's around me, because if I can't be grateful for what is around me and for what's in front of me, then how am I going to be able to be grateful for what comes after this? This is my life and I'm in control. No matter how anybody wants to see it, I'm in control. I'm behind the wheel, and I'm going to make sure that whoever is in this ride with me, we're going to make it to our destination. So, with all that being said, appreciate what you have, respect what you have. Even if you have a job, or even if you're in a position that you don't like, not everybody has to know about that. Like, those are silent battles that you have with amongst yourself. Don't disrespect people because things might not be working out for you. Don't belittle people because things might not be working out for you. Always remember, things are moments, and that's it. You got to look at it like that. You got to learn to look at it like this is a moment, you're going through it, but you're going to get out of it. And if you want to make more money, chase more money, but don't be disrespectful in the position that you're in now because you're not making what you want. Always be ambitious, always chase what you want. Like I started off in the beginning of my show. Like if you're chasing what you're doing, can't think of exactly what I said, but if you're chasing what you want to chase, then you know what, continue to do it. But I really appreciate everybody, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for me to really step it up. It's time for me to really step it up. I never want to say things that might hurt people. I never want to say things that might hurt particular people. But at the end of the day, I'm learning that this is my life. And what my life reflects, if that hurts people, I don't ever do anything intentionally to hurt someone, say, hey, I'm going to talk about this to hurt anybody. All I'm talking about is from the point of view from my eyes and hoping that people can respect it, hoping that people could like it. And yeah, I have to step up. I have a daughter that I'm trying to build a foundation for. Not just a foundation, but a solid foundation, you know? And I have a wife that likes things, still trying to get out of particular things. So, yeah, hope everybody has a wonderful night, wonderful day. And I really appreciate everybody tuning in. Like I said, I got to step it up. I got to step it up with better topics. I got to step it up with, being vulnerable and letting y'all in, opening up my heart, letting y'all in. If y'all could accept me, appreciate that. And if y'all can't accept me, then you know what? It's easy. You know what you could do is not watch my videos. That's it. But if you do watch my videos, please like, subscribe, share, do all that. I've never said that before. I'm at the process. I'm at the point where, you know what? Like, share, subscribe. Let's get me to 100 subscribers. Let's get this. Let's take over YouTube. But I really appreciate everybody taking the time to be here with me and just letting y'all come into a little bit of my world. But I really appreciate that, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all have a wonderful night. Y'all be safe. And until we meet again, y'all